The avian flu, otherwise known as H5N1, is here and is just about to start spreading like a wildfire.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So this pandemic 2.0 that they have been planning for a while, this avian flu. And then you have the other one, which is the HMPV, which is gaining ground in the UK. And now they're saying cases in the US are surging. Now, these things are coming together. They're merging. Be prepared mentally, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to drain you mentally so you just give in to the fear. What we do here is not fair. What we do here is information. Later on in another video, I'm going to give you some remedies that you can deal with, natural stuff to deal with these respiratory viruses, because that's what they are. And once they get into your system and your lungs, that's it. They end your life. So we're going to deal with this now. But there's a video I have to show you that's going to come after. But I just want to show you how they have been planning this thing for a while. And when I say planning, they're talking about a genetic analysis from a patient who died in Louisiana, right? And they're saying that genetic analysis of samples from the patient in Louisiana recently hospitalized with the country's first severe case of the H5N1 bird flu show the virus likely mutated in the patient to become potentially more transmissible to humans. But there's no evidence the virus has passed to anyone else. That's what they're saying. We know how they tell you this first, right? That's what they're saying. And then lo and behold, last evening I'm looking at the news in the US here, and here's what I saw them come up with now. They said bird flu suspected in deaths of 200 snow geese in Pennsylvania. Now, it was kind of crazy because where they found these geese was in an area called Nazareth. Now, if you know from the Bible, you know the Christ child grew up in Nazareth. That's how these people play on these things, and they even try to mimic certain things. But anyway, 200 geese, and they're saying that bird flu is suspected as the cause of death for 200 snow geese in Lehigh Valley. That's in the area called Nazareth, Lower Nazareth Township. So they're planning stuff, they're going along, they're mimicking this thing. So now birds have it. Birds are dying from it now, right? And then they come now, of course, yesterday, and you would have heard that they were saying the first individual, the first person has died of bird flu in the United States. The Louisiana Department of Health confirmed on Monday. So you see how it is trending, right? You see how it's trending. And then when you move from that, you hear them say now that the Department of Health in the U.S. and Human Services on January the 3rd announced it's awarding approximately $306 million to support the federal government's H5N1 bird flu response. Of that, the Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response will award nearly $183 million to support regional, state, and local preparedness programs, including $90 million for hospital preparedness programs, $10 million for national emergency special pathogens training and education, and then $26 million for regional emergent pathogen treatment centers, $43 million for special pathogen treatment centers, avian influenza preparedness and response activities, and $14 million for the National Disaster Medical System. Now, $306 million to support the federal government's H5N1 bird flu response. So monies are in place already to respond to this. The more you know and the more prepared you are, the better is it for you. And like I said, later on this evening, I'm going to bring another video with some natural remedies that you can actually use for respiratory viruses. But check this video out.
The avian flu, otherwise known as H5N1, is here and is just about to start spreading like a wildfire. Dr. Cooke is the head of the gain-of-function research for this specific microorganism to weaponize it and use it against human beings. For those of you who don't yet know what gain-of-function research is, it is defined as medical research that genetically alters an organism in a way that may enhance the biological functions of gene products. This may include an altered pathogenesis, transmissibility, or host range, such as the type of hosts that a microorganism can infect. In other words, gain-of-function research turns a non-lethal microorganism into one that is dangerous and can kill its host. It's a weapon. The lethal version of the avian flu has already been intentionally released into the wild as a test and is impacting animals such as birds, bears, skunks, raccoons, and even dolphins, to name a few. The next step will be to spread it to human beings. The goal is to create another pandemic. Only this one is intended to make the last one look like child's play. TLS is currently working on a plan to try and stop this. And part of their plan is to shut down some of the labs that plan to release this to the human race. Another part of their plan is this very video, with the hopes that it will be shared and seen by millions. By the way, the labs where this gain-of-function research is happening are located in the Ukraine. All of this is connected to the war, which is being used as a facade to divert our attention away from what's really going on. But the avian flu is not where it ends. The avian flu is meant to bring in the next pandemic, which will make way for two very specific things. Number one, global economic collapse, which will lead to the banks collapsing internationally, not just in the United States of America, and thus bring in digital money, digital currency for more power and control over the masses. And number two, a global health emergency, which will give them a reason to bring in the need for digital passports, which world leaders already signed a declaration on back in 2022. In other words, just in case there's another pandemic. It's important to note that the vaccine for the so-called avian flu, or H5N1, has already been manufactured, and the U.S. and many other countries have already begun purchasing these in bulk to prepare, again, just in case there's another pandemic. As already stated, all of this is planned. So what can we do and what must we know? Number one, if you get sick with some type of bird flu, this is not something natural. This is man-made. Number two, stock up on vitamin D and get yourself a nebulizer if you can. And number three, veganism is a good option right now with what's going on. But if you're going to eat meat, it's recommended that you stay away from chicken and turkey specifically. Remember, we the people have the power. We have a chance to take that power back into our hands right now peacefully.